All right, welcome back. If you have any interest in 5G and um, security research and doing any sort of over-the-air fuzzing, this video is for you. And this repository on GitHub, 5Ghoul, is just really amazing. The what looks like a ton of work has went into this, with a great README and a lot of support from the developer, getting things up and running. And just like the paragraph at the top there talks about, we have proof of concept 5G NR attacks against commercial smartphones, routers, modems, etc. It's also a fuzzer, and this is primarily against Qualcomm and MediaTek modems. And for more details, that link there with the disclosures is excellent. Excellent read up, and there's even videos there. So what I'm hoping to demonstrate is taking a WarDragon, and my intent is to have 5Ghoul and the Docker and everything already preloaded on a WarDragon, so a lot of this setup you won't have to do. There's really not much setup at all, but I'm just going to go start to finish, and we're going to take and have a 5G Qualcomm modem attempt. Well, we're going to basically attempt to launch one of the attacks against the vulnerability of the Qualcomm modem. Before I get into really any of this, just like I've said in previous videos that have anything to do with cellular, any sort of over-the-air transmissions, you better either have some sort of like Faraday cage setup, or you better properly cable the equipment together. It's pretty easy to do that with a modem and an SDR. You might need some attenuation there just in case, but generally these SDRs don't really push out much power. So I'm going to have the WarDragon, which I'm recording on, is going to be essentially the attacking laptop. It's going to have the software-defined radio, and in the case of the way I'm recording this video, we're going to use it to run the modem and control the modem as well. But besides that, um, let's get started here. We can use this excellent README, great reference, but I just want to show what I've kind of done have done thus far. So maybe this will help others. I started with a Motorola Edge 20, and I had some older. I swear I tried these. I had some older Sysmocom Sims that looked like these. And what I ran into was, unless I just was doing something wrong, I couldn't see any 5G networks with the SIM. It wouldn't let me enter 5G mode like a T-Mobile SIM would. So I moved from that over to a MG 5G development board, and this particular one was, of course, had a Qualcomm, and so I took this development board and initially picked up some additional Sysmocom Sims, and there's probably nothing wrong with these. There's probably just some programming that I need to do, but these SIM cards were had an MCC or MCC MNC of what was it 99970, which is was different than the older ones, which was 90170. Anyways, these SIM cards inside the 5G modem, I eventually got to the point where I could understand what I was doing, and I could see the 5G signal. I could put it on 5G, but it literally just would not connect. So again, maybe something to do with that 99970, needing to change that. So I ended up grabbing one of these again, putting it in, and lo and behold, had no issues associating to the 5G. All of that is kind of, in a roundabout way, kind of documented here in this number 10 issue. Maybe it'll be closed at some point, but great reference. You can see the discussions I was having. This is not me at the top there, but the person that opened the ticket. Really great information in here, and I've copied it out to make this video a little faster into a README that I'll reference. So, all right, I think I've hit everything. We're going to come down and we're going to do the quick start. Docker is already in a WarDragon, but the good thing about the 5Ghoul library here is it will actually check to see if you have Docker installed, and I've actually never let it install Docker for me, but it is set up, I believe, to do that. So we'll download this container.sh script that'll get everything up and running. Make it modifiable or executable. And you can see it already recognizes that Docker is installed and there detects no image, and it's going to start pulling things down. Now, one thing that I learned, which is you may have modem manager on your host, and it did not occur to me until the developer pointed something out that, hey, you need to stop the modem manager on the host, because that can affect the modem manager in the Docker. And sure enough, that was an issue. So sudo systemctl. Let me think. We'll disable the modem manager service, and we'll follow that up with a stop. And just remember you did that in case you need that service later on the host. We'll let this finish, and I'm just trying to think of anything else. My intent is so I'm not going to do any sort of simulation. We're going to do the real thing. I still need to try out the Wireshark, but we're going to launch the default, I think it's the CVE7 attack that it talks about here, which you can read down a little bit further. Disabling 5G, downgrade. So we're going to give that a shot, and we should find that the phone will not respond after the vulnerability is taken advantage of, and that should disable the 5G connection. So on the modem, and you'll probably have to restart it, power cycle it, maybe. So again, security research, nothing over the air here. I don't encourage anything outside of lab environment setup. This is a great way, I think, to learn more about 5G and the potential exploits and vulnerabilities that are out there. Once this finishes, the container will start up. The other thing is, don't try and run this if you're connected to the WarDragon or something via real VNC, because just the way it's kind of set up, it'll kill that VNC connection the moment the container starts up. So that's why I'm recording directly on the WarDragon. Just want to point that out. That was something else I learned. This is going to go pretty quick once we have this Docker up and running. So just bear with me. Alright, so you can see I'm inside the container now, and we're going to do a couple things before we start messing with the container. We can go into our 5Ghoul, and it actually puts some stuff on the host itself, and we're going to disable a couple things because I'm not having a phone plugged in, and I don't want it controlling the modem. And also, I'm going to show that I'm going to only add the IMSI of the SIM card that I have in, so we don't need the full authentication here. Only going to add the IMSI. I just picked one of the ones that were already in this 5 GNR GNB config, and I'm trying to think what else. So monitor, I'm going to set that to false because I'm not looking for it to check on the ADB thing. And then we'll open up the global config, I think it is, and we're looking for, maybe, let's see, monitor, I guess it's there to enable. I could have did it there perhaps. Got me wondering now. false. Let's see. And then the UE modem manager, I don't want that being managed, but if you did, just make sure you check your default interface path. You might need to change those settings. I'm going to save that. I'm just going to look one more time at what I... Okay, that should be fine. I think one is just the global, and I'll point out one other thing. If you're wondering where, how is the radio set up? So 106, this is an open air interface setting, which gets pretty crazy with how many different variables are in here. And maybe that's the case with some of the other like SRS ran, and I've just not really looked closely through the whole configuration file. But these RUs here is where it kind of sets it up for the B210. That's another thing. I'm going to go ahead and have a B210 plugged in, and I'm going to leave the attenuation on the TX and RX where it's at. I'm not looking to blast this out or damage my modem with the way I have it set up here. And other than that, let's see. We're going to get 2 extra windows set up, and I'm going to... Let's see. I'm gonna run the container again just because I want another window up where I'm in the container. And I've changed to the third-party modem manager runtime SBIN, and that's where our modem manager is. And we'll go ahead, move this over here, I guess. And we got windows all over the place. I'll use this one. We'll change into third-party modem manager runtime bin, and that's where our MMCLI is at. And we'll get one more window open here. This is where we will run a command to tell our modem to connect. Okay. Yep, I think I'm set up here. And so in here, let's start our modem manager in debug mode. And it should start just like this and not exit out. If it does, you might want to check that you disabled the modem manager. And we're going to plug in our modem. And we'll give it a second, but we should see it come up in here. All right, yeah, see, so we've got a connection to our 5G modem. Just to prevent me from having to blur anything out, what you would want to do is you could run the MMCLI with this command here, -m any, and it's going to show you a lot of settings for your modem. Particularly, you want to make sure that it's in an allowed mode of 4G, 5G with the preferred mode 5G, the band being that NG RAN 78. But it'll also show my IMEI, and I don't feel like blurring it out. So I just know more than likely I'm going to have to run this command again because I noticed after a reboot it wasn't on preferred 5G. So I'm doing it from within the directory of where MMCLI is at. I'm just adding that // to call that. You can see I had some activity here and sets current mode. That's what I'm looking for. I already know it's on NG RAN 78. That has never changed on me, and I'm going to need the 90170 is what I'm going to want to connect to. So let's see. We got our modem. Oh, that was what the other window is for. So we'll make this window a little bit smaller, and we'll focus more so on this window where we're going to actually run our attack. This is going to start up the fuzzer, or the binary at least, the 5G fuzzer, and we're going to run the vulnerability 7 against the modem. So let's see. We can get this started by changing this to 90170, again depending on your SIM card. We have our, actually I'll just show you that. So UHD, I'm actually on the host right now, but this should will load up and prepare. You don't necessarily have to do this, but before you run within the Docker, because it's going to have UHD inside there, but I just want to show, hey, it's up and going. Yep. Come inside our Docker. We're going to let this start up, and we should see that the GNB starts here shortly. Okay. ENB, GNB starter, waiting for the UE task. So pay attention here. What we should observe is when I tell it to connect, it's going to connect, it's going to launch the exploit, and then at that point we're going to see some of the information like here, and there's going to be no more connection of the SIM card. Oop. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to get this, I promise. So let's see. I want to tell it to go ahead and associate. Oh, and you know what? I may have already associated. Let's see. Target is not responding. Maybe I already did. So let's see. I'm telling it connect. We might have already had it connect. I looked away from the screen there a little bit too long. I'm trying to tell it to connect again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we already got it. Hmm. Yeah. And you know what? We'll do it. We'll do it one more time here, just so you can see. I'll reset the modem. And I'll try and be a little faster this time. Now, if I had put in all the key information in that one file, if you recall where I put the MZ, and you run 5Ghoul with just the first generic command it's got on there, it will be just a regular base station, and I have verified that the modem can, connect just fine. I am just doing immediately, basically launching this vulnerability, and maybe when I wasn't looking, the modem, probably easily could have connected on its own because it has connected before. So let's do one more recap here of making sure that we set that preferred 5G. I'll give the modem a second here, but we should be able to send it. So, yep. And then we'll prepare just to manually force it to connect here. Launch this. wait for the GNB to come up, and then we're going to tell it to connect. So the moment it tries to connect, we launch the exploit. So we can see it can no longer connect. And I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about the debug, but I can see that it is not connecting. So, all right, hopefully that can get you up and running where you can do some of these exploits yourself. And obviously, I have a lot more to learn, but let's see, the target is not responding. Open 5GS stop, just like it shows, will basically happen. So yeah, I think we got it good this time. All right, thanks for bearing with me, and hopefully that's helpful and get you up and running. You can feel free to try some of the other available attacks that are in here. I just stuck with the default, the V7, and some of them don't seem to affect Qualcomm modems, so just pay attention there. Yeah, all right, have a good one.